So the only people who will be flipping out about this are the people you'd expect. The side that says that no one's above the law openly break the law. So the the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In fact, for those of people who don't trust me and what I say, let me bring it up. All right, so we're at Britannica. The Civil Rights Act 1964, comprehensive U.S. legislation intended to end discrimination based on race, color, religion, or national origin. It also extends to people with disabilities and stuff like that. So it is a piece of legislation, law of the land. When you fill out an application, you always see that we will not discriminate based on all the things listed. But the same people who say that that no one's above the law openly discriminate and break the law. How many times have you heard this year, oh, by 2030, we hope to have 50% more black women, or to have 20% more LGBTQ+. So you're basically admitting that you're openly discriminating against certain people because you're trying to fill a quota. So you have two people. You have a black woman and you have a white guy. The black woman, no experience. The white guy, the experience you need. But you're going to take the black woman because diversity. Because you're trying to fill a quota of, oh, we need 50% more black people here. So you're openly discriminating. You see the dude, Matt Hansen with Obsidian, tweeting out, oh yeah, black people will always take priority because this place has too many crusty white dudes. So you're openly discriminating. You're openly breaking the law. And for what? Oh, because we're trying to fix the injustices of this white male-dominated patriarchal society. Well, I mean, maybe it's white male-dominated for a reason. I mean, if we've learned anything in recent years, it's that that men can basically do anything. Men are better women than women. Look how many men are going into women's competitions, beauty pageants, winning Woman of the Year. So, apart from giving birth, is there anything a man can't do better than a fucking woman at this point? Can't imagine why most society is male dominated. But for the gaming industry, same thing. You have these companies within last year saying, yeah, the higher ups are taking in people who have little to no experience and just putting them on these projects, but they're only being hired because they're fitting this quota of, oh, they're gay, they're black, they're this, they're that. And then you wonder why the games are horse shit when they come out, because they have people working on them with no experience. So this, again, anyone who looks at this, apart from the crazies on the left, normal people will look at this and say, good. It's open discrimination when people, oh, we hope to have this many gay pilots by 2030. Okay, well, at least you know that when they hire that inexperienced pilot and your plane's crashing down, at least you know that they're fabulous. But President, also, I'll probably put President Donald or President in all caps in the title, just to people, he's your president, get over it. That side is losing their minds, losing their collective minds. President Donald Trump ends DEI hiring practices for the U.S. federal government. President Donald Trump signed a number of executive orders in his first day as President of the United States, the 47th President of the United States. One of his first actions is ending DEI hiring practices of the federal government. In the executive order titled "Reforming the Federal Hiring Process and Restoring Merit to Government Service," President Trump observed, current federal hiring practices are broken, insular, and outdated. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the people within the government right now. Kool-Aid hair and shit like that. And they're being hired basically because they're black or they're gay or whatever. And because it's starting with this, we've already seen, actual companies, not the government, but companies end their DEI stuff. They know it's coming. They know it's coming. Um, Outdated. They no longer focus on merit, practical skill, or dedication to our Constitution. He continued, federal hiring should not be based on permissible factors such as one's commitment to illegal racial discrimination under the guise of equity, or one's commitment to the invented concept of gender identity over sex. Inserting such factors into the hiring process subverts the will of the people, puts critical government functions at risk, and risks losing the best qualified candidates. Yeah. And now, while this is talking about the government, I'm talking about as a whole, because obviously this is going to extend to more than just the government. Which, government, great start. But if we can get all these companies to quit their BS DEI initiatives, whether it be Hollywood or, retailers or, gaming companies or whatever, we might go back to some kind of semblance of, normalcy where you're actually able to get hired and not have to worry about, oh, well, they're going to hire someone else just because they're black. So, it's great that it starts with the government because government has way too much power. So knocking them down a few pegs, definitely a great start. And then I hope that kind of emanates to other places. Like, again, we've already seen it with retailers, fast food chains, Walmart, Target, John Deere, places like that had their DEI crap. They're cutting that out. McDonald's was like, yeah, we're done with it. I think I've done a few articles about game companies kind of dispersing their DEI group and firing whoever the head of diversity, equity, and inclusion is. And so hopefully we get back to some semblance of normalcy. And that should be the case. You want the best qualified candidates, not, well, we're pilots. This man he's a 20-year veteran. This woman, she's fresh out of the academy, but she's black. So, sorry, sir. We know you have more experience, but we're going to take her because we have a quota to fill. Did you not see our initiative? We want at least 50% black pilots before 2030. So, sorry, sir, you privileged white male. You can go get a job somewhere else. We're taking her because we have a goal that we want to accomplish. So, and again, when that plane starts crashing down, at least you know that, it was with a diverse pilot. Or with the game companies now. You wonder why the games are crap, and you look at the people working on them, the piercings all over the place, the Kool-Aid hair, and you're like, yep, that explains everything. The order then detailed a new hiring plan for the federal government. It states that the government will prioritize recruitment of individuals committed to improving the efficiency of the federal government, passionate about the ideals of our American Republic, and committed to upholding the rule of law and the United States Constitution. It also declares that it will prevent the hiring of individuals based on their race, sex, or religion, kind of like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which, again, go onto any application, fill out any application, and that's what you'll see. We do not discriminate against, race, color, religion, blah, blah, blah. But these people, again, for years have openly admitted that they're discriminating against certain individuals. The same people who say that no one's above the law are openly breaking the law. I mean, this isn't just some like, oh, silly sallies. This exists for a reason. No, they're breaking the law. It's legislation. Legislation. They were breaking the law. But well, we need to correct the injustices of our society, our male dominated society. It also who are unwilling to defend the Constitution or to faithfully serve the executive branch. It is unclear how this new government policy will affect private and public businesses. Back in October, before the election of President Donald Trump, a report from public relations and advisory company Tenio by Fane Alquist, Lisa R. Davis, and Rose James claimed that DEI will survive moving forward. Are you sure about that? The report, which analyzed 250 S&P 500 companies and their sustainability reports, revealed that all of the companies have some kind of DEI policy or agenda. However, it noted that the percentage of companies that use the term DEI has declined from 99% to 94%. Oh boy.
Those are real big peeping numbers.
Nevertheless, it noted that of the 94% of companies that now prioritize inclusion by placing it first in the acronym has risen. There has also been noticeable addition of culture or belonging focused titling instead. Furthermore, the report reveals that a little under half, 43% of the S&P 500 continues to maintain and promote quantitative, time-bound DEI goals within sustainability reports, with almost 80% of these goals remaining unchanged from last year. I mean, of course, it's going to take a little time. The goals include representation quotas based on sex and race, supplier diversity goals, as well as hiring quotas from certain colleges, such as historically black colleges. It's kind of like affirmative action. You know, you have two people trying to get in. One can, perfect scores, this and that. And then you have someone who's black trying to get in, and they're going with the black person because, affirmative action. We can just let people. So, but they ended that a while ago. Actually, how long has it been? A couple years now, right? Well, you're discriminating against people based on their race, their sex, and again, it's against the law. But these people who constantly say no one's above the law are constantly breaking it. The report noted that 1/3 of all companies had representation goals, while 14% had supplier goals. 23% had hiring goals based on where individuals graduated from or from investing in underrepresented communities. Interestingly, the report revealed that 24% of 24 companies omitted specific DEI goals from their disclosures, including 16 related to diverse representation, 9 on supplier diversity, and 7 tied to diverse community investments. Conversely, 13 companies introduced new DEI goals, including 8 on representation, 2 on supplier diversity, 6 on broader initiatives such as HBCU, recruiting efforts, and pay equity. I'm sure a lot of these people did it because they probably thought that Trump wouldn't win. Because everyone's reassuring, oh yeah, Trump's not going to win. There's no way in hell he's going to win. He's a convicted felon. Here he is. So now people are going to realize, oh crap. Oh crap. We're going to have to do something. I'd also reveal that 67% of companies feature talent programs such as mentorships, fellowships, internships, and scholarships that focus, gaming companies. I've talked about how, like, oh yeah, they have this all-female one, and even though it's all females, they'll also have trans females, which those are still men. So they're discriminating against people who identify as straight white male, but they're letting in the trans individuals, like trans females, into a women-only scholarship or a woman-only internship. It's, again, they're openly breaking the law and no one does anything about it. The report shared that these companies frame them as essential tools for reaching diverse candidates as part of a holistic recruiting strategy, despite being exclusionary and likely illegal. It is illegal. There's no likely. It is illegal. 78% of companies also disclose they have supplier diversity initiatives. Oh boy, our favorite. Dozens of financial advisors warned corporate America in the wake of Donald Trump being elected as the 47th president of the United States that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies are now a liability in a letter published on November 15th. The letter declares, this November, the American electorate overwhelmingly rejected the ideological takeover of political and civic life by narrow-minded identity politics. Critical race theory, diversity, equity, and inclusion purport to promote belonging and inclusion, but in reality sacrifice true diversity and equal opportunity by focusing on differences based on skin color, sex, or religious status. Yeah. But it's okay when they break the law. Correcting the injustices. Next, they warn is a liability for any institution to tout adherence to DEI ideology. Recent Supreme Court decisions have cast serious doubt on the legality of DEI, which has led to full-scale legal assault on DEI, according to the Wall Street Journal. The data underlining the push for DEI has been exposed as overstated at best, or worse, downright false. The financial analysts and advisors, God, I'm so fucking hungry right now. Tosh makes me hungry. Did not stop there. They predicted that the incoming administration, led by President Donald Trump and his Vice President J.D. Vance, will likely advance and enact policies that increase the risk of current DEI policies at every corporation. So again, it's starting government level, and now it's going to go down to every company, whether it be, insurance companies or gaming companies or, retailers or whatever. It's going to trickle down. Which is good. You should be hiring people who are best for the job and not hiring based on skin color or sex. I mean, again, these people like to talk about equality, and we have something that was written for that. It is a piece of legislation. It is law. But yet they are constantly discriminating against certain people to fit quotas. On top of warning numerous corporations and businesses, it instructed them on what they should be doing. Specifically, it says that they should distance themselves from DEI and highly divisive groups like the Human Rights Campaign, which bullies companies into adopting radical, wrong-headed, and yeah. I mean, we see people like that with gaming companies still. We saw who I forgot her name, but she was like, "Oh yeah, you go in and if they don't agree with adding the stuff into the games, you scare them, threaten them to report them to it's ridiculous." It also notes that corporations have a clear choice to make. You stand at an important crossroads. Either you can heed the voice of the American people, your shareholders, customers, and employees, or you can bow to fringe activists who demand that you double down on a failing ideology. Yeah. So you can just keep doing what you're doing and be held liable and get sued into oblivion and essentially put out of business, or you can stop hiring people based on skin color, religion, or gender. I mean, you pick the right person for the job. If they're black, great. If they're trans, great. But do not hire them simply because of that reason. Simple as that. If you're a gaming company, do not hire those people who have no experience just because they fit the bill of, oh, well, they're black, they're this, they're that. If you want to make a good game, you need people with experience. And if you're going to hire with someone with no experience, you don't put them on the project immediately. You have them shadow someone. You have them watch them and see what they're doing so they can learn. And if that person is hands-on, you have someone watching them to correct them, to tell them what they're doing wrong. You don't just, oh yeah, welcome to the company. Oh yeah, we know you have no experience, but we're doing a project right now. We're working on our latest project. So yeah, go ahead and get started. And then when the game comes out several months later or a year later and the game sucks, you'll wonder why. Well, it's because of that. Because they're hiring people who have no real skill at it, but they're hiring them simply because they're black or because they're LGBTQ+. So, great start from the government where it needs it the most, all the way down to other corporations. So again, it might go back to some form of normalcy, where you can go into a job and not have to worry about, oh, great, I'm looking around, I'm seeing a lot more black people than anything. I'm probably not going to get this job because clearly they're hiring pretty much black people. Where you can get back to getting the job you need, especially when you need it, because now these people are going to have to, obey the law. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Again, you see it every application you fill out. We do not discriminate against, go to any application. All of them say the same thing. Some of them say stuff about disability, some of them don't. But one can pretty much assume that, obviously, clearly disability is protected as well. So, great step in the right direction. And I can't wait to see people lose their minds. And I already know I'm going to get the typical comments. You fat chud, you gooner, you fucking incel, basement dweller. I welcome it. Okay? Because if that's all you got, come on. I talk about my appearance and my weight, saying I have a small penis all the fucking time. So if you're going to insult me, bring your A game. Not the, you incel, you this. Yeah. It's really scraping the bottom of that barrel, aren't you? So, anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.